welcome to the Fintech Surge podcast, creating wealth of opportunity through fintech innovation from the Middle East for the Middle East. My name's Steven, and I'm excited to be joined by Alexandra, our co-host for this episode.
Thank you, Steven. It's a pleasure to be co-hosting this podcast with you. Powered by the Fintech Surge, the region's leading fintech festival, hosted by the Dubai World Trade Center, alongside Jitex Global. Welcome to the Fintech Surge podcast. My podcast guest for today is Mr. Shyam Mohan, VP Fintech Platforms and Products for Mastercard. How are you, Shyam?
I'm good, Alexandra. Thank you for having me. It's great to be here.
Welcome. We're very happy to have you here.
Yeah.
So, Shyam, tell me a bit about your role at Mastercard.
Sure. So I'm part of our Mastercard developers and API team, which is a global team that looks at how can we enhance the API capabilities of Mastercard solutions.
Okay.
So within this team, I look at how can we improve our solutions for fintechs, because we know that fintechs prefer working through the API interfaces. They are extremely developer centric. They are more digital than most other organizations or entities that we work with.
Okay.
So there needs to be a focused approach towards making sure that our solutions are more fintech fit.
Okay.
So that's what I look at within Mastercard.
Can you define for us, please, what is API?
So API stands for Application Program Interface.
Okay.
It's, to put very simply, the connection layer between two systems or entities or servers or whatever you want to call it.
Right.
Because in the end, when you look at a payments capability or a data capability or any other technical capability,
Yes.
it is about interfacing between two entities, systems, etc.
Right. The
and
connection.
API, the connection.
Okay.
And API enables that, right? So if you have a good API, you can have a good connection, which means you can provide a good service, you can do transactions better. That's essentially what it is, to put
Okay.
it in a very simple manner. Yeah.
Okay. And you mentioned that you are global. So what
Yep.
regions do you cover?
So I look at
The whole world?
Yeah,
Oh.
because for us as an organization, if you think about it, Mastercard is a global
Yes, of
organization, right? And then we do have teams in the market that cater to specific needs of the markets. But we have the machinery which is central, and then there are the regional teams that look at what is required for the market, do the customizations, etc., according to the needs of the market. So I look at what is central, and that's the reason why I sit in the global team. It is a cross-functional team because, again, Mastercard is a large organization,
Right.
different functions, different types of engagements with customers.
Right.
So it's important to have that that central engagement layer to really deliver at scale.
So you sit in Dubai.
Yep.
Lucky
Been
for
here.
you.
Absolutely. I mean, there's no other place I'd rather be.
Good. That's
It's,
great.
yeah, it's a great place to be. I've been here for nine years. I've done
Okay.
market roles, but now I'm in global role based in Dubai.
Okay.
It's amazing. I mean,
And how large is this fintech global team?
so the overall API team is quite substantial within our organization because we manage the developer platform, right? The platform that fintech developers or other developers engage with and connect to our enterprise.
Okay.
Right, so the entire platform piece is managed via our team.
Okay.
Within that, the fintech strategy team, which I'm leading, is relatively new. So right now, it's two people looking at the entire set of engagements.
Okay.
But then it's distributed, like they're based in Dublin and London, right? So
Okay.
that's essentially how we are structured.
Wow.
We work in a true remote setting. Yeah.
That's not very large. I was expecting a much higher number
I mean,
for a
so-
global role.
So the thing is, there are various aspects of fintech engagement that exist within Mastercard, right? There are many other fintech teams that exist. So the team that I'm in is not the only fintech
I see.
team
Okay.
that there is.
Okay.
So you have a large market team here in Dubai and in different countries across Eastern Europe, Middle East, and Africa within our region that look at fintech engagements. So it really depends on the type of role that you do, right? It's not to say that this is the only fintech team that exists within Mastercard.
Okay.
My team specifically focuses on the developer engagement and the platform capability and how can we make it better for fintechs,
Okay.
right?
I see.
The engagements are driven in market. There are other teams which look at, so the fintech engagement broadly can be classified into three. One is working with fintech customers of ours, which are B2C or B2B companies that are rolling out solutions. So there's a separate team that manages those relationships. Then there are enablers of ours that we work with. So our technology, to reach its full scale and potential, we work with enabler partners who then distribute it to their customers. So there's a team that manages enablers. It's driven through a program called Engage. Then we have a program called StartPath, which I was previously managing before this role, where we were working with startups, late stage startups who provide value added services to our customers or to us as an enterprise, right? And there the idea is how can we build joint solutions, capabilities together, etc. And there's a separate team that manages that. So it's a quite
broad,
diverse and broad setup. Yeah.
That's fantastic. With all this change recently, what are some of the key transformations that you have undergone at Mastercard with this rapid digitization?
Yeah, I mean, I'll just be repeating what many others would have said when I say that, digital has changed the way we live, right? And something that we live through
key transformation specific to Mastercard.
Yeah. So for us, I would say, first of all, as an organization, we've been around for 60 plus years. We've been working with a lot of our traditional customers in a certain manner.
Yes.
We started understanding that fintechs operate and behave differently, right? And we started making those necessary changes within our institution to cater to that, right? We know that a fintech cannot be worked with or treated the same way as a large bank would, right? And we need to make the changes to suit that. And in fact, the reason why I have this role and we have this function within Mastercard is understanding that change, that they operate differently. They are more technology oriented, they're more digital, right? Whereas a lot of our traditional institutions are going in that direction, but not there yet. So as an organization that wants to support everybody, we need to make sure that there are parts of our engine which cater to the fintech needs as well. Right. And that is indeed driven by digital. So if you see, we released the new payments index recently, and specifically when you look at markets like UAE or Saudi, like 88-89% of the people have said that they have used an emerging technology in the last year. So a lot of new emerging technologies have come up, right? So you can now pay with your phone, with your watch and everything, right?
Yes, exactly.
Card, everybody keeps asking what happens to the card. Card was always just a form factor. The objective has always been how to convert cash into digital payments, because cash is not good for the economy, cash is not good for the society. How can you convert that into digital payments? Right. So when all these changes are happening, we've been leading.
Adapt, right?
Yeah, we have to adapt, we have to lead, right? And that's where things like tokenization, which enables you to pay with your phone, or you to buy coffee when you step out of your house from a connected car, like all of these things become critical solutions to offer to the market.
Yeah,
so we build the capabilities, and fintechs or banks, they are essentially taking those capabilities to the market, right? And we've seen new types of fintechs emerge. You probably would have heard, like, everybody wants to be a super app provider, or every company wants to be a fintech. Embedded finance is something that's quite commonly used these days. And we've seen merchants, rideshare providers, telcos, all of them, they want to have a financial services layer to their business.
Absolutely.
Because that's part of their
diversification
their
and want.
Exactly, and growth strategy, right? The challenge that comes with digitization is how do you maintain stickiness, right? It's so easy to switch these days. Like, think about 10-15 years past, right? I mean, you wouldn't probably think about changing your bank because it's such a difficult thing to do, right?
Yes, very complicated.
Nobody would want to do that. You have a bank account, or you have a relationship with a bank, you stick to that for life, right? But now, obviously, digitization allows that choice, that ability to switch, and that's what is driving the growth. So for us, the change has been, like, through the pandemic, we've seen growth in e-commerce, we've seen growth in contactless transactions. Like, as Mastercard, we have been talking about contactless for 15 plus years, advocating into the market, but the adoption was very organic. All of a sudden, people realize that they don't want to touch anything. So It became, a health issue rather
Right.
than a payment
A
method,
trend.
right? And that's what drove the adoption of contactless. So it's been an interesting change for us.
All right. I didn't know that this was something that you've been contemplating for such a long time.
Oh
You
yeah,
mentioned
not just
15,
contemplating,
20 years.
we've been advocating it, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So these transformations don't come to you from the fintechs, them knocking at your door and saying, "Hey, we need to do this." You're actually, it's a premeditated initiative.
It's both ways,
Yeah.
right? It's both ways. So there are a lot of solutions where we worked with fintech partners to build, right?
Mm-hmm.
I was talking about StartPath, which is one of the programs
Yeah.
that we have. The entire purpose of the program was to see what's innovative out there,
Mm-hmm.
because we need not have answers to everything, right? Not everything need to be known by us within the company, right?
Mm-hmm.
We need to know what's outside. I mean, there are these companies who are solving for consumer pain points, use cases which are niche or unique. And
Right.
one important thing for us is whatever we do at scale,
Mm-hmm.
right? So when these companies are solving for those problems, we work with them,
Right.
see if this problem can be solved at scale,
Mm-hmm.
right, or sufficient enough scale,
Mm-hmm.
and then we either work with them to build the solution.
Mm-hmm.
We do M&A activities,
Mm-hmm.
we do investments. Like, there are many ways to engage.
Okay.
So it's not necessarily just us thinking about problems and
What's to
solutions.
come? Right.
It's
Okay.
also inbound from that perspective.
Right. And if we talk about that, what are some of the consumer trends that you've seen lately?
Well, I would
Consumer
say,
behaviors.
yeah, as I said, right, the fact that, like, even grandparents
Mm-hmm.
or people who have been hesitant to use anything digital are
Yes.
starting to use digital methods of payment now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's been a significant shift. Who would ever have thought?
That's
Like,
true.
every time we think about a new solution, we think about, how to change user behavior,
Mm-hmm.
the inertia or the resistance always puts a spanner in the works for us, right?
Mhm,
But
mhm.
now we've seen that change happening naturally, obviously, not due to the right reasons, because you
Mhm.
don't want a COVID or a pandemic to happen every time for these behaviors to change.
Yeah.
But we've seen that people are now more open to using these technologies, right?
Right.
And again, as part of the payments index that we released,
Mm-hmm.
there was an interesting factoid which said that 20% of people in MENA
Yes.
used less cash than they did last year.
Oh.
I'm
Oh,
sorry,
wait, no.
80%
Ah,
used, sorry,
okay.
80% used less cash
Yes.
than they did last year, right?
Mhm.
So for us as a company, it's always been, how can we win share against
Mhm.
cash, right? And how can we make these digital payments more ubiquitous and more available, and that's what it is.
So regarding this consumer trend, do you think it was brought upon solely by the pandemic, or did it start before that?
So the pandemic
The increasing
kind of,
use of yeah,
caused the spike,
right?
but that was not sufficient.
Okay.
You need to have the foundation. The foundation had already been laid,
Okay.
right? The work that we did, right, over the past few years or even more number of years, laid the foundation.
Yes.
It was because the foundation was there that we could support the spike that came with the pandemic. That's how I would put it.
Okay. Mastercard has made some very interesting partnerships recently with Binance, for example. Can you talk a little about that?
Sure. Again, I'm not the crypto expert, but I can talk about some of the,
Yes, the fintech aspect.
yeah,
of
the things that we
partnership.
have in mind,
Yes.
right, when it comes to Binance and crypto.
Exactly.
So with Binance, we are launching crypto card programs in Latin America, in Argentina. We announced that recently. But we've been talking about crypto partnerships with other players, and
Right.
like for a while now. Like,
Yeah.
we have been in the crypto space for 5+ years.
Right.
It
So
started as
basically, it's consumers that will be making transactions using their cryptocurrencies. This is
no. So
the
so we-
basis of
so we-
finance.
the way we do it is, crypto is an emerging space, right?
Mhm.
as Mastercard, we always want to do the things in the right manner when it comes to consumer protection, when it comes to regulations, when it comes to like aspects of fraud or whatever, right? We want to be on the right side of things, right? So what we have realized is a lot of people are coming into the crypto economy, and the crypto economy is growing.
It is.
So we allow for choice to the consumers to make a payment, right? Either buying crypto or cashing out, you know, into fiat from crypto using a crypto card program.
Right.
Purchasing NFTs as an example, right? So buying an NFT is something which crypto natives are doing, but it's a complicated process.
Okay.
Which means you'll have to look for what is the token or the coin associated with that particular NFT marketplace. You have to first buy that, go through multiple steps and hoops to do that, right?
Yes.
So as a payments company, we make it easy for consumers to pay. That's essentially what it is, right?
Okay.
So we look at the NFT marketplaces. We make sure that consumers are able to use their card to pay for these things. It doesn't mean that we allow the crypto currency to be used on our network, though there are, you know, certain steps being taken in that direction, but in a very thoughtful manner, right? So we allow people to use whatever they have at their disposal in terms of fiat to to be converted into a crypto asset using a crypto card.
Okay.
So that's basically what it is.
Right.
So we have certain principles that we work with, right? As I said, consumer protection. We've seen a lot of bad press lately, right? We don't want people to be affected by that, right? So we make sure that we do it in a very thoughtful manner.
So Binance basically acts as the intermediary platform between the...
Binance is an exchange, right? It's a
Right.
crypto exchange.
Right.
That's what they are. So,
and your partnership with
so our
Binance?
partnership is to launch a crypto card with them.
With them, okay. So it would be a Mastercard crypto
Binance,
card.
Yeah, Binance crypto card, yeah.
Okay, that is very avant-garde of Mastercard. Are other credit card companies as
Well, I wouldn't want
avant-garde
to.
as you?
Yeah, I wouldn't want to talk about competitors, but I'd
But it's
say
fantastic.
we are. Yeah.
It's really great that
Yeah.
you're catering as well to a whole new market, the crypto
and
market.
So we see that it is a booming economy in itself, right? And we know that payment use cases are integral to it, and that's the reason why we are playing in that place.
Do you feel that crypto will be used for mainstream purchases in the near future? For everyday purchases?
Well, it depends, right? It depends on who is doing it in the first place. If you are, as I said, a crypto native, you probably would want to pay with the cryptocurrency that you have. And then let's say there is a merchant on the other side who also believes in that, and they might allow for transactions. But as common people, you would want to make payments using something that is safe and reliable.
Okay.
And that's where we see regulations coming in would help for crypto to become mainstream, right? When you are in a regulated space, consumers have confidence to transact, because in the end it's a matter of money.
Yes.
Right? It's your hard-earned money. So you wouldn't want to simply.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So has this crypto card been launched already?
So we've just announced it with Binance in Argentina. We've launched a few card programs. This is not the first. We've announced with Gemini in the US, which is a rewards program for crypto, where you can get crypto rewards. So it's something which is in play already.
Okay, in some regions.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. Mastercard is obviously very collaborative with fintech companies and startups, and they want to build partnerships and stay on top of their game, which is fantastic. How important do you feel is collaboration within the fintech space, within the different players?
Absolutely. I mean, the good thing about fintech that I see is everybody believes that it is an ecosystem play, right? Anybody that you talk to, there's nobody who's talking about, I just want to be the only one capturing this
Yes,
space.
and you nailed the word ecosystem.
It is an ecosystem
yeah.
play, right? And again, if you look at how fintechs emerged post the 2008 crisis and things like that, we know that the intentions are good for anybody and everybody who's in there. So collaboration is critical. You're talking about new ideas. You know that for ideas to take shape and grow legs and to run, you need to work with the others, right? And that's the approach that we also take. So we, as I said, have a certain way of functioning when it comes to traditional institutions that we've been doing for the past 60 years successfully, and we make changes to ensure that we cater to the fintech needs as well.
Right.
As an example, Nimcard, right, is one of the first fintech principal members in the region for us. So
can you elaborate on that?
So as Mastercard, we are a network.
Yes.
Right, where banks connect to and banks can do transactions.
Yes.
We work on what is called the four-party model. So banks connect to us, we give them membership or license to connect to the network. And as I said, we've traditionally been giving it only to banks.
Banks, yes.
Now we are starting to work in a way where fintechs are also able to get that
Access
membership
to
option,
you.
that get that direct access to us, right? They have been having indirect accesses to us, but now we are starting to give them direct access, which is
which is great.
which is as Nimcard as an example.
Okay.
So for us, these partnerships become very important, like not just on the issuing side, which is what we did with Nimcard, on the acquiring side as well with Hyperpay in Saudi Arabia. We recently announced an investment into the company.
Yes.
So we know that merchants are also looking for new solutions, new capabilities, and again, e-commerce is growing. Omni-channel experiences are something which has become table stakes, so we need to offer that in a cost-effective manner. So those are like some of the areas where we definitely partner.
So basically, there is always your credit card behind everything.
Not necessarily, right? So for us, card is just a rail. There are different rails. As a company, we are a multi-rail institution, and that's a very important pillar of our strategy. Expanding into new networks is an important pillar of our strategy. So card rails is one of the rails. We have solutions that are running on open banking rails. We have solutions that are running on account to account ACH rails. So a lot of these new rails. So traditionally we've been a card network, but we've moved away from that to become a payment technology company, and now a wholesome payment technology company with focus on multiple rails.
So do you feel that there is a threat to the traditional ways of making payments?
So I wouldn't say it's a threat. It's all about, as I was saying earlier in reference to crypto, choice.
Right, yeah, okay.
Consumers are being given multiple choices. They choose whatever is best for them, given their circumstances, given their requirements. Our job is to enable that.
Okay. And with increased digital payments, do you feel that cybersecurity is becoming more of a threat? Yes, you do.
Absolutely, right? I mean, with digitization, we've seen that cybersecurity, obviously, like when the technology grows, there are some bad actors that actually understand what's happening and try to grow along with that, right? So it becomes extremely important. As an institution, we feel that it is our fundamental role to maintain the integrity of the ecosystem, and that can only happen if we, tackle cybersecurity in the right way, prevent fraud for consumers, because we want people to believe in the system in the first place. If they are prone to fraud attacks and things like that, they will lose faith in it, and we don't want that to happen. And we've seen, a lot of solutions being deployed in this. We've acquired a lot of companies that focus on digital identity, cybersecurity, right?
Yeah.
Again, identity is something which is a core pillar of digitization.
Yes.
Right? When you are transacting digitally, you're not sitting in front of that person like you and I are doing right now. You need to know that the identity of the other person, whether it's a consumer or a merchant, is real, right?
Absolutely.
So it becomes very, very important. So as I said, we've done a lot of work in that space through acquisitions and through our own homegrown solutions.
Do you think that the crypto blockchain space is more secure since it's very transparent?
Well, I wouldn't be the expert to comment on it, but all I can say is cybersecurity is extremely important there as well. We recently acquired a company called CipherTrace, which monitors like a lot of exchanges, a lot of transactions, public transactions, and creates like a good scorecard for them. And when you are transacting, you know that the person on the other side is a genuine actor or not, right?
Yes.
So again, we spoke about crypto becoming mainstream. An important aspect of crypto becoming mainstream is to ensure that you keep the bad actors at bay, right? And companies like CipherTrace actually allow you to do that. And this gives confidence. So for example, when we launch a crypto program with a bank, right, we can talk about the CipherTrace capability, which gives the bank the confidence that their consumers have better protection against fraud due to this capability that we have.
Okay. Shyam, since your role is global, you have a good view of the world and the adoption of digital payments. How do you compare the MENA region to the rest of the world in terms of their adoption rate of digital, of making digital payments?
Yeah. So we always used to think that, you know, innovation happens only in the valley or, you know, in some pockets of Europe. I mean, well, open banking innovation is something which emerged in Europe. It is driven by the regulator. But when it comes to new technology, we always had the feeling that, okay, it happens only in, you know, some pockets of the world. We've seen that that's not the case, right? We've seen use cases where people in our region, like Middle East and Africa or Middle East and North Africa, have their own challenges and pain points. Like the developing markets have completely different needs compared to a developed market. So you see, you know, the challenges of the South are very different from the challenges of the North.
Yes.
So we've seen a lot of technologies emerge. Most of them take inspiration from what's happening in the West, but then it's not just about taking inspiration from, you know, what's happening in the West. You need to be able to deploy in the market to cater to the needs of, you know, the local people, right?
Right.
And that's what we see happening in MENA. I mean, the examples that I gave, Nimcard or, you know, Hyperpay, like these are all local solutions grown in market, right? And now are competing at scale across multiple geographies. Another example is a company called Ukeshe that we work with in South Africa. They came through the Start Path program, and again, they started with a very specific set of use cases in the South African market with, you know, QR codes and wallet payment enablement, working with telcos, etc. But now they are expanding their reach in multiple geographies, expanding in US and AP, etc.
Okay. So then I guess the initial innovation occurred in the West, in the United States.
I mean, I wouldn't say United States in particular. That was just a reference that I made. But yeah, what I see here is the capabilities are now available, right?
Yes, yes.
It's driven by multiple factors. The support from, you know, the general ecosystem, whether it's a government. I mean, we've seen Dubai and the UAE government announce a lot of initiatives that support entrepreneurship, startups, fintechs, right? I mean, it needs to have multiple factors that come in for it to be successful, and we are seeing that all coming together in this space here.
That's great, Shyam. Thank you. I hear that you are a gold sponsor at the Fintech Surge.
Yes, absolutely.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, no.
Are you excited
Yes,
for
absolutely.
this event? Yes.
Yeah. So I know we've been talking for a while now, and like I'm really looking forward to it. We have a good lineup of speakers from here, from our global teams, to talk about what's happening. And I'm pretty sure it'll be very exciting, especially now that, you know, travel is back. People want to be in person at events.
Definitely.
And
people have missed this grand old expo reunions.
Yeah, and that's a good point, right?
It is the perfect place to gather and meet and share.
Yeah, exactly. So in a lot of these events, what I'm seeing is people actually catching up.
Yes,
right.
That's true.
So we are really excited about
and the amount of questions and answers, Q&A after a panel discussion is 3 times what it used to be prior to COVID.
Yeah,
so there's a lot of engagement going on. Great. Well, I'm very happy that we got to speak today.
Same here, Alexandra. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you very much for joining us on
Thank you.
Fintech Surge.
Yep. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
you.